This time, I'd like to call the Monday, June 1st, 2026 meeting of the Currituck County Board of Commissioners to order. At 4 p.m., we had a work session concerning the annual budget and also to confer with our attorney. At this time, I'd like to have the invocation Pledge of Allegiance with Pastor Mary Frances McClure from Moyock United Methodist Church. Is she not here? If not, I'll open us, and please stand and we'll have the pledge afterwards. Let's pray. Dear Father, we thank you for this evening, that you've allowed us to gather here in this great country, the greatest country that has ever existed. We pray for your guidance, and we pray that you will lead us, Father, and that we will follow and do your will and your work. We ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next item is ethics awareness and conflicts of interest reminder. We will have our county attorney read that for the board.
Pursuant to GS 153A-44, a commissioner has a duty to vote on matters coming before the board, but may be excused from voting on issues involving the commissioner's own financial interest, official conduct, or on matters on which the commissioner is prohibited from voting under GS 14-234 or 160D-109. In accordance with Chapter 2, Division 3 of the Currituck County Code of Ordinances, it is the duty of every commissioner to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of conflict. Does any commissioner have any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before the Board of Commissioners in this meeting? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict.
I would like to disclose a couple of things. In the matter of the Clifton White heirs, it has been brought to my attention that the fellow that wants the automotive wrecker service, Mr. Hiltz, that perhaps I had a conflict because he ended up on a piece of my property. But I had nothing to do with that. That property was purchased by a builder who then built a house on it and sold it to Mr. Hiltz. So I was not involved in that transaction. And then in the matter of Bayer, with the proposal of the tattoo salon and body piercing establishment, I was their real estate agent in the purchase of that property. Our buyer agency agreement was signed on 9/6/24. We entered under contract. They purchased the property 10/21/24, which was prior to me becoming a commissioner. Our buyer agency agreement ended on that date, and I have not represented them in any other way since.
Okay, so it sounds like, based on what you just said, you wouldn't receive any kind of financial impact based on any kind of approvals tonight.
That is correct.
Okay, so then it's really up to the board. If you think that Commissioner Rose should be excused from voting, you would need to do so by a motion. In my opinion, I don't think she has a conflict.
All right. Board have any issues?
No.
All right. We will move on. Item 3 is approval of agenda. I believe it needs an amendment.
Mr. Chairman, for the new business, piece number 4, Section A, the Corova Roads Maintenance Service District consensus appointments, I'd like to add William Neal Nosey to serve as a non-resident property owner to fill the unexpired term ending 18 August 2027.
That's your amendment to the agenda and approval.
Yes, sir.
Motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Chairman, just 1 minute. I'd like to make an amendment as well to the agenda. Should I do that now or after his has been approved?
Well, we have a motion and a second. What is yours concerning?
The consent agenda has a resolution supporting the expansion of child care services by the YMCA. I'd like to remove that from the consent agenda. I have asked the county manager to provide me with the lease and everything that we have with the YMCA. I've not seen that before.
I will speak to that. This has nothing to do with the lease that the YMCA has with the county. This item, I was asked to put it on the agenda because they are going to try to provide childcare services in the Moyoc area, which has nothing to do with their lease with the YMCA. So it really is not relevant to your request from the county manager for the lease agreement, which you're still entitled to. I'm just saying they will not be doing childcare at the YMCA. It'll be off campus and it will be paid for by the users. It's for the school teachers, county employees, and then after that, it'll be open to the general public. And they've asked us to pass this because they're trying to get this done before the school year starts. So if you still want it removed, I'll remove it. If not, then that's up to you.
I just didn't know the details,
Yes.
you know, so.
Are you okay, or do
I'm
you still?
okay.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second, and we've had conversation. Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is public comment. We have 2 people signed up for public comment. We have Miss Mary Etheridge. If you'll please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and board members, for giving the citizens of Currituck County the opportunity to speak to your board. I'm Mary Etheridge, and I live at 846 Shawboro Road in Shawboro. I had the privilege of serving on your board for 8 years, and I know we talked about cleaning up the Currituck Highway corridor. And yes, the previous board before those 8 years also talked about cleaning up the corridor of Currituck County to make it more attractive when people drive through. I hope this board will honor the consensus of these several years of the board saying they want the corridor cleaned up and not contribute to it by approving and rezoning a parcel of land where a car storage for wrecked vehicles would be, and also approving where there would be tattoo parlors every 10 miles in a business district. I certainly hope that you will realize that when visitors and citizens ride through our county, we want it as attractive and appealing so that they will want to come back and maybe visit the mainland more. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Joe Hobbs. Ask you also to give your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Joe Hobbs, 278 Northwest Backwoods Road. Thank you for commissioners for your job that you do. And thank you for giving me a chance to speak on the area in which I live on their behalf. I live at Northwest Backwoods Road, Northwest community of Moyoc. And today I got a few questions to ask the board. And it's not about a fire station, which y'all know I've been hitting y'all with the last 3 years. And again, I appreciate all you're trying to do for us in the community. Today, the subject is the Northwest Watershed Improvement District Advisory Board, which is located in the northwest area of Moyoc. And the purpose of that board, it was established in 2004, was set up to improve drainage in the area when needed to protect the area from detrimental flooding. I've been living in that area for over pretty much close to 40 years now. My wife lived there forever. But anyway, I see that in the latest or the upcoming budget, if approved, we supposedly have $48,000 in the general fund And the question, I got a couple of questions to the board when it comes to the Northwest Watershed Improvement District. Is number one, is the Northwest Watershed Improvement Advisory Board active? And when was the last meeting held? Second question is, how can citizens living in this area apply for assistance concerning drainage issues?
First and second question, we defer to the county manager. I'm not sure when they've met. And I think the watershed districts are for cleaning the ditches, not for individual grants or anything. But I'm going to allow the manager to maybe speak to this and give her a little time. Hopefully she's thought about it.
Sure. So I am not certain when the Northwest Watershed District last met. It has been an extended period of time. I think some members of that advisory board are no longer with us. I think they are deceased, and so that board needs to be reconstituted. That is a special revenue fund, so all of the funds stay within that fund, but certainly an opportunity there to bring that board back together.
So I think Mr. Hobbs is, what I understand is there probably has not been a meeting in quite some time. Some of the members may be deceased or no longer there. And I think the manager would be willing to reconstitute that board. And if you have an interest in it, living
Yeah, I was
there-
actually on that board years ago.
Okay, I think that, yeah, I think the manager and you should probably talk about that, how to get it reconstituted and to meet again.
Okay, I appreciate it. I will get back with the manager after the budget has been approved. I'm sure y'all are busy, but thank you. If y'all could look into that, we would appreciate it.
Yes, sir, thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you.
And if the board, if the board will indulge me, I have to trade seats because if this one goes down any further, I'm gonna be looking up over the top there, so
Hey, and that, Paul, what that is,
I'll just be going.
these chairs are from the 90s, so that just shows wisely spending taxpayer dollar, because these chairs are trash.
That's the chair I had.
Plus, you just kept sliding.
I just kept going down.
Be perfect if that one goes down too.
All right, thank you. I can actually see everybody now. All right, sorry for that little quick break there, but our next item is legislative hearings. The first one is PB 2603, Clifton White Heirs, deferred from May 4th. Request for conditional rezoning of 7.69 acres from agriculture and single-family residential mainland to conditional light industrial for establishment of an automotive wrecker service. The subject properties are located off Currituck Highway, tax map 41, parcels 70D, 70F, and 70L, Crawford Township. Yes, sir, if you will please present.
I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening to the board. As you said, this is a request for a conditional rezoning of 7.69 acres of farmland and woodland to conditional light industrial zoning for the purpose of establishing an automotive record service. You can see that the property is located on Currituck Highway between Currituck and Sligo, just near the intersection of Pointers Road. The White Heirs own pretty much this whole cluster of properties here, but the highlighted ones are the only ones involved in the request. Here's the current zoning. The front property near the highway is zoned single-family mainland, and the other two properties are zoned agriculture. Excuse me. All three properties are zoned or classified as G1 in the land use plan. Additionally, all three properties are within the 100-year flood zone with a regulatory flood protection elevation of 6 feet. The actual elevation of this land is fairly low, but somewhere between 0 and 2 feet above sea level. The current zoning district purpose, agricultural zoning, accommodates very low-density residential development and agribusiness type uses, but prohibits non-agriculture related commercial uses. The single-family residential mainland district, also a current zoning district, allows for a variety of residential uses, but commercial, office, and industrial uses are prohibited. And the requested zoning, light industrial, is intended to allow light manufacturing type uses, but with trying to avoid any nuisance to surrounding uses. And it is the appropriate zoning district for the requested use. Like I said, this falls within the industrial classification in the ordinance, and the use category it falls under is vehicle sales and services heavy. Some of those characteristics for that use category are use types involving the direct sales and servicing of medium trucks, boats, and other consumer motor vehicles intended to transport persons or goods over land or water or through the air, whether for recreation, commerce, or personal transport. Accessory uses can include offices, sales of parts, maintenance facilities, parking, outdoor display, and vehicle storage. And automotive record service is listed as one of the example use types in this category. And I'll just read the definition of automotive record service. An establishment operated for the purpose of temporary storage on site of no more than 9 wrecked or inoperable vehicles for a period of no longer than 90 days. If an establishment has 10 or more inoperable vehicles located on site, stores inoperable vehicles for more than 90 days, stacks vehicles, or portions of the vehicles are dismantled or removed for sale, it shall be considered a salvage and junkyard. Here's the conceptual development plan. I'm going to go to the one that's zoomed in a little more. Maybe you can see it better. So there's a type C buffer yard required around the entire use. These areas here are the existing vegetation that'll be utilized to provide that buffer. These green lines here are the proposed gap, where the gaps are, and they're proposing new vegetation to meet that requirement. Out here by the highway, that buffering gets doubled up. It requires a type C and a major arterial screening. There's an approximately 500-foot long gravel entrance here with parking and a approximately 2-acre gravel impound lot with a small office for the purpose of storage of keys and transactions. Here would be the approximate location of a stormwater control measure. Here are the applicant's proposed conditions, which must be agreed upon. The development of property shall conform to the proposed conceptual development plan. Lighting shall have a maximum mounting height of 10 feet and shall not exceed 15-foot candles. The actual maximums in the ordinance are a height of 25 feet, so that's a reduction from 25 to 10. And the maximum foot candles have gone, or they're proposing, would go from 30 maximum to 15. In addition to the required opaque fencing, chain link fencing with barbed wire and cameras shall be installed. All existing vegetation outside of the development area shall be retained. If we go back to the site plan, that would probably be something in this area that would be undisturbed. And maybe some of these areas here that are wider than the required buffer would remain. Signage shall not exceed 8 feet in height or 24 square feet. The current maximums are 20 feet in height and 160 square feet for the sign area. The allowable use category types and so these are the uses categories in agricultural zoning. They include agriculture and horticulture, animal husbandry, equestrian facility, ag support, directly and indirectly related, silviculture, single-family dwellings, manufactured homes, school, government office, law enforcement, fire, EMS, religious institutions, arboretums, botanical garden and community gardens and parks. Allowable uses in single-family residential mainland. The other current zoning district include agriculture, horticulture, equestrian facilities, of course, a variety of residential uses, schools and EMS, athletic facilities, bed and breakfast inns. And then the requested conditional LI is, again, for automotive record service. The Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan classifies the site as G1, which is intended for low-density residential growth and some small-scale limited neighborhood retail uses. Appropriate land uses and development types in this area include agriculture and agritourism destinations and related businesses, county facilities, limited neighborhood commercial, low-density residential growth that prioritizes preservation of open space and natural landscapes, tourism-oriented commercial along Currituck Highway, ecotourism and water-dependent uses, and forestry and other natural resource-based activities. There are quite a few relevant goals and policies from the land use plan. I won't read them all, but a few that we and the technical review committee used for their recommendation include land use policy 1.3, which says to consider community character and establish visions for the community. Land use goal 2, to carefully consider the design and location of intensive and potentially incompatible land uses to mitigate compatibility issues such as environmental quality, safety, overburdening local infrastructure, scale, use, design, location, and adverse effects. Land use policy 2.3, to encourage new industrial uses to locate in existing or planned industrial sites and locate on suitable land with unique locational advantages. Also, land use policy 2.8, consider adverse effects of development or land use decision. Adverse effects are negative consequences for the physical, social, or economic environment. Also, economic development policy 5.1 that says industrial development shall be located on land that is physically suitable and has unique locational advantages for industry. Also, the Shawboro-Crawford-Sligo policy 3.2 to preserve agriculture and open space, as this is not a center of development. And major intersections should be targeted for neighborhood scale commercial development and other areas for low density residential growth. Also, the community vision statement, which says that new commercial development should maintain balance with the existing community character. These are the conditional rezoning review standards that you may consider while making a decision tonight. Also, a statement of consistency and reasonableness should include the following criteria. And given the inconsistencies with the Imagine Currituck 2040 vision plan, including the future land use map, including but not limited to land use policies 1.3, 2.3, and 2.8, land use goal 2, and economic development policy 5.1, and the county's adopted official zoning map, the planning board and technical review committee recommend denial of the request. A conditional rezoning is a legislative decision of the Board of Commissioners. Special consideration should be given to the Imagine Currituck 2040 vision plan, goals, and policies when creating new industrial zoning and uses in the county, and especially along the Currituck Highway corridor. The proposed use is in an area where preservation of active farmland and low-density growth is encouraged. And I'll put the applicant's proposed conditions back up here, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Anyone have any questions of Mr. Literal?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Literal, how many record services are there currently in Currituck County?
That is an excellent question.
Okay.
I don't know the answer.
Okay.
Are there? I know that there's at least two.
Okay.
Mr. McCord said 4 or 5.
It's probably 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Are
He's
they
probably better
are they
prepared.
located along the highway?
There's one in the Currituck Industrial Park back off the road. There's an old one, Bird Auto's, right on the highway, but it's been there a long time. Where are the other ones?
Coin Jock Auto,
Right.
Andy's got a record.
So with the ones along the highway,
2 or 6.
what kind of conditions, what kind of appearance exists with them? Could you describe them for me, the ones that are along the highway?
Probably not. I mean, there's cars sitting around, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, okay.
And a lot of those were put in place prior to this ordinance, so it's things
So they're
like.
non-conforming?
Yeah. I would imagine they are. The fencing's probably not in place like the ordinance requires now to screen them from off-site views.
Okay.
The landscape buffers are probably not there.
And so if there are 4 or 5, is there an existing condition where the sheriff's office is demanding another record service?
According to the applicant, they say that they need another impound lot.
I'll rephrase it. Has the sheriff
Oh,
office, have they voiced concern that there aren't enough record services?
not to the planning department, no,
Okay,
ma'am.
all right, thank you.
All right. Other questions?
Are we making a distinction between a wrecker service and an impound lot? So is there a distinction there?
I think the impound lot is just part of having a record service. If you're telling me you have to have some place to keep the cars, they're not two separate uses. And not currently in our ordinance anyway.
And also, can you talk a little bit, one of the graphics that you showed of the lots,
Yeah.
there was a stormwater pond
Yes.
on there. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
That is really just a placeholder for whatever the required amount of stormwater control ends up being there from the gravel surfacing.
Right. And the gravel surfacing is intentional, correct? So that you don't create impervious surfaces out there?
It's still considered impervious unless you do it in the exact way that the state has an exemption for, which requires geotextile matting underneath to provide drainage over time.
And is that what's being proposed here? Or
I don't think so. I think it's expensive, and that's a lot of it, so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
This property is currently zoned ag and single family. And I believe I read somewhere where it was suitable for low-density housing.
Correct.
Do you feel that this property would support houses?
I hesitate to say, but it is very low lying, so it would require some strategic grading and filling and probably large stormwater control.
I just wonder, the property owners, I know they're probably looking for, if they want to sell it, what could be done with the property. And I see the zoning, but it does look mighty low to me too.
Yeah.
Mr. Little, I have one more question. So in your presentation, I don't recall any mention of spot zoning. Is that something that the planning department took a look at and made an assessment on?
It is potentially spot zoning, whether it's illegal spot zoning or not, that remains to be known. But it definitely could be considered spot zoning.
And to your point, Commissioner Braithwaite, that's precisely why we included the slide that talked about the motion and the considerations that you would need to make, because those factors, if you go back to that slide, James.
Which one?
The conditions slide. This should also be in your staff report, but these are the factors you need to consider if you are planning to make a positive, approve the rezoning. One more, back to the actual,
Oh,
keep going. One more. We're all the way back to the beginning, I guess.
all the way at the
Talking about the
beginning?
consistency and reasonableness statement.
Yeah. And what, in your opinion, would make it an illegal spot zoning versus a non-illegal one?
There's got to be a reasonable basis for the decision.
That's right. Yeah, so spot zoning in and of itself, which is a relatively small tract of land that's rezoned to something different compared to its surroundings,
Right.
is not illegal. But if it doesn't have a reasonableness standard, and when you look at these factors, that kind of that assists in making that determination, whether it's reasonable or not. So if it doesn't meet these factors, then that could potentially be illegal spot zoning.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Literal, how was containment of any fluids from vehicles addressed?
Hasn't been.
Okay.
We don't have anything on our ordinance about that, but I don't know if there's anything in the state permits as far as water
Well, the
quality.
reason I ask is the water table is right there.
It's
At the
certainly
surface.
close to the surface, I would imagine, yeah.
There are some requirements in the code of ordinances related to
Containment.
containment,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. Oh, yeah, I guess the applicant could speak if he wishes. Yes, I'm sorry.
Good evening. My name is Carl Furby, and I live at 304 Webb Hill Street, Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. I have with me Mr. James Howes, who is the business owner who's interested in the property. I'm chosen to speak on behalf of my family, the White Ayers family, and wanted to talk about a couple of things. One of them is the 7.69 acres is a conditional light industrial request, not a industrial request. Totally different. Conditional controlled light industrial request. And those make it totally different whenever you look at it. That means that what we talk about and what we agree upon cannot change unless it comes back to you. We have before you some items that we have put before you, and I would like to cover some of those. But before I do that, I would also like to talk about the low density area, and I'll give Mr. Howes a minute to talk about that. We did go to the Corps of Engineers to talk about that area, to make sure that we were compliant with it. And we got a comment back from that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. The other part is just wanted to clarify record service, because when I hear record service, I get a totally different concept of what we're trying to do. And I know that the people around will get that same totally different concept. The record service is what he does. But let me give you an example. It's probably like a detention center and a transport that's taking something to a detention center. Now, it might be a bad example, but what I'm trying to say that it's not a record service as you well know it. Most of the time, it's a record service is cars that are broken, towing, or whatever the case may be. Now, these cars will not be. These are impounded cars, police impounded cars that they will call. He will be in the rotation to pick those up. He can only have 9 inoperable vehicles. After that 9th one, he's got to do something to make sure he doesn't have any more than 9, and he's got some plans for that. So again, the majority of those will be those that will be impounded from DUI or something of that nature, or some other kind of process like that. No insurance on the car. So that's what will be going in that lot. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because when I heard about the fluids and this kind of stuff, well, there may be a few, but he's got a plan for that. But 90% of those will not be fluid leaking or any of that nature. There will be no dismantle of the vehicles, no putting together, taking out like you would a garage or some other type of record service. So I wanted to talk about that before we went forward. And the reason, one of the things that we looked at, we met with Ms. Turner and Jason a few months ago, and they've been very instrumental in helping us to get where we are today. Been very nice. We appreciate that help. And we wouldn't be here without them. But we made sure that we went through the processes. We looked at the 24 division plan to make sure that we were in compliance with the 24 division plan. So we feel fairly comfortable that we are. And we'll talk about that a little bit too. I don't want to hold you because I know it can get kind of. From your 24 division plan, I'd like to just read a few excerpts to show why we did what we did and chose what we did. A little while ago, a USGA survey was taken, and the majority of the soils in mainland Moyock and northern is not suitable for septic system. Moyock, Gibbs, I think the plan, the 24 division plan, spelled that out. In this proposal, there will be no need for water or sewer or infrastructure. And I keep up with you, and I read that the water and the sewer is, gets at a capacity sometimes. Well, this will be no addition to that. Impervious surfaces, that was a concern in the plan. The proposal that we have will keep the land at its most natural state, even if it was low density housing. This will keep it in its most natural state. Employment and commute patterns, and I'm sorry to look down, I've got some notes here, and I've been running this week, and so I need my notes. I'm getting a little older too, so I'm sorry for not looking up some. But 81% of the workforce, as you guys have on page 28, is leaving Currituck County. We have a young businessman here who's trying to stay in the Currituck County and work. This request will alleviate some of that leakage. On your economic development on page 69, it says working to diversify the economic base while growing its traditional industry sector to include light industrial. Now, this is a controlled light industrial, which makes it even more stringent on what can and can't be done. That's on page 69. So this proposal support the retention and expansion of existing businesses and promote the development of new businesses, especially those that help diversify the local economy and are compatible with the county's natural amenities. Now, I know that most of the income are probably coming from a tax base of residential. Well, this will help move that away from that. The other part is, this is a great transition area. I know it to some it may not. It's a great transition area because it's not located where a lot of homes are. As a matter of fact, there are really none at this point. There's one with a burned out trailer there, but it's my cousin's and she owns that too, and she's not planning to come back there. So at this point, The whole area is a 32-acre lot. Mr. Hiles chose to buy a little more additional land so that he could get off of the highway so that it wouldn't be seen. Now, he knows, and we know, what Currituck income is all about, tourism. So we said we do not want to interfere in any way with tourism. So we moved the project back off of the highway. When the project is fully done, you will not be able, if you didn't know it was back there, you wouldn't know it was back there. You wouldn't know it. So that was intentional. It was intentional because we knew that Currituck has especially on the highway, is tourism. So we definitely didn't want to do that. The denial, based on Mr. Jason's comment earlier, it denied based on land use policy at 1.3, which is saying community character, which established vision for the community. Well, we have placed additional buffers around the lot. It's a 2-acre lot enclosed in a 7.69-acre lot. So if you didn't know it was back there, you wouldn't know it. And we did that so that there's no one there now. But if there was ever anybody there, they wouldn't have a problem because the buffers would cover that. And again, the family owns all around, and all of us don't have a problem with it at all. Again, community character, that was part of the character, to keep it looking like it's looking right now without changing it, without looking at it from a highway. And it's near a highway, which makes it good. It's 630 feet, and that's a lot of land. It's, I won't say given away or what, but that's a lot of land to get it off and where it needs to be. It was denied based on 2.3. Growth should be directed to appropriate areas and not occur randomly in rural zones. This is not random. This proposal reflects a managed and intentional growth for that area. It's not sprawl. He didn't just go in and pick it. And we didn't just go in and pick the spot because of what we were trying to do. The use is limited, conditioned, and it's controlled by what we agree upon. It doesn't set a precedent, and I know that's, let me back, I kind of was on public service for about 35 years, so I know that, hey, I'm setting a precedent. But it's not setting a precedent with this, because each one stands on its own. It's a merit on its own. And so it serves as a transitional use. And again, we say and we write that we are transitioning and want something other than home ownership to do the burden of taxing. Well, this will be a great start. This is a great transition area. It has the characteristics of a suitable location. It has the access. It has the size. We're doing the extra buffering. And it is designated low density residential. Let's just do a quick thing with our hands, my hands. So we got 8 homes, 2 cars, that's 16 trips, one way. 16 trips, another way, that's 32. If anybody come to visit you, that's another 8 if it goes to the 8 homes. If there's a school bus, if they have kids, well, kids may get a car. A lot of them may not. but that's another vehicle. So those are the Institute of Transportation Engineer trip generation manual says that 8 homes will generate 9 to 10 trips per day. That's 72 to 80 vehicles. Well, let's cut that in half. You still have more than what his business would generate. His business would generate 2. There's not that many accidents or that many people that get their cars taken in Currituck County on a daily basis. But for the max, so I don't know, but for the max, it would be 2 to 6 trips per day. 2 to 6 trips, which is a whole lot less than what the FLUME has or the future land use map has it designated as. It denied based on land use 2.8. And land use 2.8 indicates requires consideration of adverse effect on the physical, social, and economic environment. Well, I've talked about some of those already, so I won't go back through those. And I know I may be getting a little long, so I don't want to prolong myself. But the physical impacts are minimized through the buffering, extra buffering that we're doing, limitation on the intensity of the use, 1 vehicle, 2 per day, versus what could go there based on what's there, what's the land use map has now. It's located substantially off the highway. We moved it. He bought really a couple more acres, so look, I want to get it away from everything. I want to be compliant. That was his thing to me, because he said right now, he don't believe that those that are out there are compliant. So he said, I want to be the first one to be compliant. I want to show these guys that I can do it, and I can do it correctly, and this is what I really want. I don't want to do it if it's not right. So that's fine. We'll do that. No noise, and I looked at your previous one from request, which was a heavy industrial. No noise, no pounding, no excessive traffic. So no smoke from a smokestack, can't be seen from the highway. Again, if you didn't know it was back there, you wouldn't know it was back there. So we took a lot of time in trying to get this and get it done correctly. And again, it's no one near. And in the write-up, they had a concern about the one trailer that's there, but I talked about that a little while ago. They are, it's my first cousin, and they said, you know what, I'm totally fine with it. Got no problem with it. There was one other denial, and I'm trying to cover some of the denials that were looked at from the planning board, so that we could. And they did it based on land use goal 2. And it says land use goal 2 does not prohibit new or potentially incompatible land uses. Rather, it calls for careful consideration of the design. That's from you all and from us. Location and mitigation of impact associated with such uses. It doesn't prohibit it. And I know sometimes when we look at it, say, well, we traditionally do that, but it doesn't prohibit it. The proposed zone is consistent with the land use goal 2 because it incorporates specific measures intended to ensure compatibility with what's around it, which is, at this point, it's fields. Enhanced buffering, limited and low impact light industrial, conditioned, and you probably hear me say that 100 times, conditioned light industrial, because that's different. It's not that I can go in and do what I want to in a light industrial. If something is different than what we agree upon, it has to come back and you have to approve it. And minimizes noise. Then there was 5.1 was the other one. I believe that was the last one. That was, correct me if I'm wrong. And that is an economic development policy 5.1 actually supports efforts to strengthen and diversify. And that's the whole key. You guys said, look, I want to get away from putting all the tax burden on the homeowners. I want to do something. Well, we believe that this is an opportune time because there's no one around it. It's a good transition area. It's not around homes. If it was around homes, people would probably be saying, no, but it's not around homes. And we moved that and have it in an area where it can't be seen from the highway. So that's my spiel. I believe that these areas and what was denied earlier didn't know all the detail that we were doing, putting the conditions on it that we were putting on it. And we believe that that makes a difference. And it's a conditioned light industrial.
All right. Does any board members have any questions for Mr. Farabee or the applicant?
Was the applicant going to speak next?
I don't know. Are you going to speak?
I believe Mr. Howes might have one or
Okay.
two words. I'm sorry for taking a little bit of time.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. How y'all doing? Nice to put faces to the voices, guys. My name is James Howes. I live at 218 Pointers Road. I'm the owner of Silverback Towing and Recovery. And we're requesting approval for rezoning a parcel of land located directly on the 168 corridor in northern Currituck County from agricultural/residential to conditional light industrial. We've already gone through this. The location is not random. It's centralized for the northern portion of the county. Placing this type of operation in that particular location reduces transport distances. It shortens response times, and it allows units for the Currituck County Sheriff's Office to get back on patrol faster. This is not heavy industrial. It's a controlled, regulated operation that directly supports public safety. This facility is designed with proper environmental safeguards, including measures to prevent soil contamination via a 120-foot by 22-foot concrete reinforced slab that the wrecked vehicles will be parked on. So if you're on concrete, no oil is going to spill off that. It's got a 6-inch curb around 3 sides of it, and it will contain all of the oil or runoff that might come from a wrecked vehicle. We plan to remain more than environmentally compliant with the county and state requirements. I retired the rank of captain, 17 years in the Merchant Marines in the field of hazardous liquid transport over the ocean. So I'm well trained and versed in the disposal of hazardous liquids. Activity will be controlled and managed to limit visibility of the site, as it will be 630 feet off of the highway. It's already got 3 natural buffers, forest on all 3 sides, and then we would be planting a forest or a hedgerow ourselves. You won't know it's there unless you know what's back there. It'll be invisible to the public eye. It's a very low impact use with high operational benefit to the county. 0 infrastructure is required from the county. No water, no electricity, no sewage, nothing from Currituck taxpayers will be requested. Faster response time and faster clearance means safer roads and better use of county resources. We're asking the board to approve rezoning this parcel from agricultural/residential to conditional light industrial, so this facility can serve northern Currituck County in the most effective way possible. This central location was chosen because it solves a geographical problem, not because it was convenient. This is a county asset and will remain so for many, many years. The need already exists. This just simply puts the right resources in the right place. And I wanted to address the retention pond on the map. That was kind of just put there, I wouldn't say arbitrarily, but it was kind of just placed there in case we would need it. I've spoken to the Army Corps of Engineers. Mr. Shane Staples sent email. We would only need minimal permitting going across the access way to the property. Sorry, I have a limited number of these. If you want to just pass them, I'm just going to skip over a couple. Sorry, guys. So the colored in black stripes are where we would need to potentially
You need to go back to the microphone.
Where we need to potentially have to have permitting, and that's only for the access road into the property. And it's minimum permitting. The black stripe colored in areas are what they deem to be lower lying areas. They're already flagged off. The impound itself would not touch any of the striped areas. It's just the access road in to the impound, which would require minimum permitting. I think it's the NWP 18, and it's less than 0.10 acres of linear coverage that we would need. So just the road in is the only thing the Corps of Engineers are concerned about. I have the emails here if you would like to.
Give them to Ms. Walton.
They're both the same email. Just,
Sure.
They were like, yes, ma'am.
May I ask a question?
Sir.
Earlier, it was stated that the vehicles coming in here would have very minimum leakage, going to be more of impoundments. And you reiterated a stronger commitment when you said wrecked vehicles with fluid runoff.
Yes, sir.
I'm hearing two different type of vehicles that can be pulled in there. Sounds like you're thinking more wrecked vehicles, which could have more fluid. And the previous gentleman said it was going to be very minimal wrecked vehicles. It was going to be more DUIs and stuff like that. So are we talking about a lot of wrecked vehicles, a lot of fluid runoff?
So we're talking about being on the police rotation for wrecked vehicles.
Okay.
Wrecked vehicles on the side of the highway. You be on rotation, you get a call, you take a wrecked vehicle off. It might have oil or gas or something coming
Gotcha.
off of it, and the concrete pad would
Got it. Okay.
alleviate
It
that.
can only have 9. That's why I said a minimum. It cannot have any more than 9 vehicles on that line. Correct, but I believe you said earlier wasn't going to be a lot of vehicles, the wrecked vehicles, more like DUI vehicles and stuff. That's like right. that, yeah.
Right, DUIs would be operational.
Yes.
They're still operational. We can
Yes.
only have 9 inoperable vehicles. And I have a
So
computer
9 inoperable, and then you could have more operable vehicles. What's the total number of vehicles?
unlimited.
Unlimited
It's
number of
only 9 inoperable
Gotcha.
vehicles.
Okay.
So we could have as many operable vehicles
As you can pack in there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's correct. To that point, I have a computer. Right. I don't have. I have a computer software system that I would use to monitor and to maintain 9 or less vehicles. If y'all don't mind. This is called Tow Book, and I know it would appear to be kind of confusing if you guys want to pass those down. But it.
Back to the microphone.
Yes, sir. It's a system that would help me monitor how many vehicles are on the lot at any given time.
Did you need one?
All right. You got more?
We wouldn't plan on having more than, say, 30 vehicles at any given time on the lot. But we do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Anyone have any questions
I
of the
do-
applicant?
I do. I keep hearing the number 9, so, and then it went a little higher, but you're currently not able to be on rotation because you don't have an impoundment lot. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
it?
That's correct. I
How
can't
many-
take them home with me.
How many wrecker services do we currently have on the sheriff's rotation?
I'm getting quizzed tonight, and it's actually, I think it's like 8 or 9. I was wrong when I thought of a couple other ones when we say county, because you got to include the beach.
Selena.
So, as far as rotation records, I mean, the highway patrol has theirs. I know Cito's, Lance. I don't know if Birds is on theirs or not, but I know the sheriff's office, we have about 5 that we can use, 5 or 6, I believe.
And that's in the northern county,
That would kind of be the whole county. The whole county,
the whole entire county,
Yeah.
including Corolla and everything.
yes.
Gotcha.
I want to say it's about a half a dozen.
For all of Currituck.
So what,
If we're
what,
talking about the whole county,
yeah,
2 of them are located on the beach.
Yeah, 2 are on the beach, and then the rest of
They're
them.
not running around.
There's
Cito's
one
goes
impound
sometimes
lot.
to the beach too, though, so,
Well,
yeah.
there's one impound lot, and what he's trying to do is to look at the growing area, and that's the northern part.
Yes, sir. Does anyone else have any more questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I had one.
Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead, Mr. Braithwaite.
So one of the things that we have to evaluate here as commissioners on this, on the consistency and reasonableness statement is we need to be able to make a determination that the action taken is in the public interest. Have you had any formal communications with the sheriff's department on the need for this? Do you have any documentation that you could share with us on that?
So I presented Sheriff Bikert a letter. He didn't want to sign because he felt it would have been an endorsement to my business personally. But overall, Sheriff Bikert and Mr. Walker, Captain Walker, Chief Deputy Walker, showed encouragement. We can use all the help we can get, is a quote.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Rose,
That's good.
okay.
I got a general question. I don't know if it's for the applicant or for planning. In the I think this is the TRC comments. Says the property is located in an A 100-year flood zone, which requires an elevation of 6 foot above mean sea level. The property where the impound lot is proposed has an approximate elevation of 1 to 2 foot. This means there'll need to be 4 to 5 foot added off the ground to meet this requirement. Is that for the general lot, the impound section area of said lot, or where if there was an office where that would be needed to be elevated?
Yeah, that requirement for the 6 feet above sea level is just for enclosed structure, so that would be the office only.
So if he had like a small building, like a little thing, that he would just have to have it for that.
Yeah, as far as the elevation goes. Yeah.
30.
31.
It's a lot of fill.
It's going to be how many feet off the road?
Additional 4.
It has to be 6 foot above mean sea level, and currently that lot is 1 to 2.
0 to 2 feet.
Yeah, so I said 4 feet.
And tell me again how far off the road the impound lot's going to be. 600 feet?
More than 2 football fields, yes, ma'am.
All right, y'all ready for me to open the public comment, public hearing?
I got one more question.
Okay.
So, in the thing that you brought up, the wetland, is that the wetlands delineation?
They didn't give us the delineation. They came out and kind of flagged the area and walked the property. But an official delineation, no, sir. That's
So
just,
you made the comment that the only place that we had to be concerned with was the entrance, but if you look at the proposed lot and what you've got shaded here, obviously the ditch that runs between the 2 fields is shaded. And then on the back end, which would be the west side of the property, there's shading back there as well where the impound lot would kind of cut over. So, I mean, you do have, if that is wetlands delineation,
Can you bring that up so we can look at it?
yeah, I mean, it's the thing that you gave us.
so
You gave it to us.
the ditches,
going back?
the email from Shane Staples of the Army Corps of Engineers says that that's excluding ditches. The only thing that we would have to do, according to him, is dig the ditches a little bit deeper. That's it.
Yeah, but you can't dig a ditch a little, I mean, you're gonna have an impound lot over that ditch though.
Right, it's where we would have to add a conduit through it.
Okay,
Yes, sir. To let water flow freely.
okay.
Shane Staples gave the pipe and the exact measurement of everything that he had to do to make that compliant.
Yeah, but the other question is, if this is wetlands delineation, how does that take into account the planning aspect, the permitting process, all that stuff from y'all's end?
Well, I mean, I think it reiterates that the soils are potentially not ideal or suitable for a use that would be classified as industrial, but we haven't seen this map that you've been provided this evening.
There was a letter from Shane, from Joshua Tuck to Shane Staples, and he walked the property and said that wouldn't be any issue. The only problems that he had was that little jagged part at the front with the little,
That's not
Curly.
what your map shows.
yeah, the little
The
curly
access
part.
road.
Your map shows a whole lot of squiggles.
So the email says to exclude the ditches, which is the squiggles going through the middle.
Yeah, but at the bottom, right here,
That's in the, it looks like a lot of that's in the forested area, which you said you're not gonna
Correct.
touch, right?
We're not gonna get anywhere near the back left corner, sir.
I think they said all the forested areas they were not.
then this graphic that I'm looking at ain't right.
I got a question from
Yes,
that.
sir.
So the, James, the total lot is 7.65 or 69 acres?
6.9.
Yes, sir.
How big would the,
Together, right? That's the three lots together, is 7.69?
yeah, how big would your gated impound area of
Yeah.
concrete and so forth, how big would inside your area be?
2 acres max.
2 acres max. But you would, if you would own the 7 point whatever, the whole acres, okay.
So
So
we add
2
the
acres is
buffer.
fenced in.
Yes, sir.
Nope. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. We have a couple people signed up to speak. First is Bob Justice. I ask you to come forward. Give your name and address for the record, sir.
Gentlemen and ladies, I'm Robert or Bob Justice. I live at 2310 Currituck Highway. I'm one of the neighbors on the other side of the wetland where it joins 168. 1 acre and change out of originally 101 acres. That is part of the wetlands mitigation area. The whole area there, the estuary and wetlands, was about 463 acres. 101 acres used to be what was known as the W.R. Gordon Tract from about 1851. We moved here about 17 years ago to build an old farmhouse back to its glory. It goes back about to 1750 or so. But my concern was, there were several lots, and I'm not trying to interfere with anyone's proceeds from the sale of their property. I just want to make a point of order that there are some issues that, the 4 lots there, and I looked at the zoning and the plan, and it's really not intrusive. The only concern about residual lighting, that, light pollution and later in the evening and that sort of thing. But there's also one of the sections of Ayers lots, I think, almost goes up against the Brumsey property down on the end, which might have been more suitable for this endeavor. But we built this up, invested a lot of money, and I'm concerned about, and in view of tourism, because we have been on the housing survey and house tours in terms of enhancing the county and the property for the past 17 years, and I'd like to not have that diminished. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Patricia Albritton.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Albritton. I'm going to speak from 2 perspectives. One is as an heir to that property, and the other is as a resident of this county. I have been a resident of this county for 65 years. I'm a little confused and needing comments. I'm hearing that this As far as what he is asking to do, which is to bring in an impound lot, he said 7 acres. 2 is for where he will be putting his cars. I live on 1 acre lot, so 1 more acre to that. I don't see where that will be a big diminish to anyone. Right now, we have, which gives me some concerns, this is residential agricultural land. My relatives had homes on that land. The only reason there isn't homes now is, as my brother have said, because no one really wants to come back to put a home there. So the family decided to do something else with it. And that is what we are speaking of tonight. Now I'm hearing all this about the wetlands and things of this nature. And it seems like from what I'm hearing is that the public is trying to put it more wetland than what it's really intended for, which is residential agriculture. We just decided that we did not want to do residential and that we were going to sell that land. And now there seems to be that there's a lot of concern about the wetland for some metal cars. 2 acres will be used for that. He has explained that it will be off the highway. And as a resident of this county, I think that if this is off the highway, I don't see anything beautiful about all these storage units that I can see right on the highway. This is coming off the highway. Off the highway, there's nothing to diminish from anything. There's nothing, but where he's putting it is on open, clear land. The other areas of land is all trees. So what is being diminished, I have no idea. I need some clarity there because I'm hearing a lot of conversation that I'm not understanding. I've been here for 65 years. I have been in school in this county. I just had a grandson to graduate on Friday night. And so it appears that, yes, I've been here, rural areas where I have come, and I've seen this county move. And that's perfectly fine. It brings in a lot of work for people. That's great. But how about us of this county who lived here, pay our taxes, that would like to do something with it for ourselves, not just what the county wants to do for tourism. I would like to see us, who's residential here for 65 years as myself, and other people to be able to do with their land what they would like to do with their land. That I would like to see. We're talking 2 acres of land. He's saying he's going to have it chained in. You can't see anything. Where I live, which is Puddin Ridge Road, 226 Puddin Ridge Road, I just put up a big Dominion light on the corner of my lot. Now, do my residents like it? Don't know. But guess what? It does meet the dimensions as to what the county required because I had to go and get permission for that. So with what he's talking, there's nothing around it but trees and shrubbery. And therefore, we're asking that you allow us to do with our land as we so choose. And you're dealing with all this wetland, talking about wetland. It seems like you're more caring about the cars, which is, he just explained, is 9 cars. I have been an incident of myself of having to get my car towed. And guess what? If this county is a huge county, we need more of that. I just sat the other day for 2 hours because I had a flat tire for someone to come and help me. So if we can have more of this, because the county is huge, it takes an hour or more to get down from one end to the other. And this is right here in this county. So I would like for us to do more for this end as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have signed up. Is there anyone that didn't sign up wishes to speak? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and ask the board for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to deny PB 2603 Clifton White Heirs because the request is not consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, including land use policies 1.3, 2.3, 2.8, land use goal 2, economic development policy goal 5.1, and environmental policy 1.1. And because industrial uses, including automotive wrecker services, are not in the are not the type of development typically associated with the G1 transit transect, and the land use plan encourages new industrial uses to locate in existing or planned industrial sites and locate on suitable land with unique location advantages. This area is not an existing or planned industrial site. Furthermore, it would result in adverse impacts. The application may result in severe adverse impacts on the natural environment due to the storage of wrecked vehicles on land that may contain wetlands and has elevations between 0 and 2 feet above sea level, making the water table close to the surface.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll take a 5-minute break. I'd like to call the meeting back to order. And the next agenda item under legislative hearings is PB 26-06 Bear. Mitchell and Lisa Marie Bear are requesting an amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 4, use standards to allow tattoo parlors, body piercing establishments in the general business district subject to a special use permit and use-specific standards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. This is a text amendment sponsored by the Bears, as you just stated, to allow tattoo parlors / body piercing establishments in the general business zoning district. We move forward in the presentation, I might just refer to it as tattoo parlors, but we understand I'm talking about the whole use there. So the applicants came in and discussed their intent to permit a small tattoo studio on property where they are proposing to build a dwelling in Currituck and Maple, which is currently zoned general business. Mr. Bear is an established and experienced tattoo artist, and I believe his wife is as well. We did bring this particular topic to the board in March. There was some discussion related to the use and some concerns about compatibility of the use. The board decided not to initiate any changes to the ordinance at that time. We did provide the feedback to the applicant and then discussed, they wanted to move forward with the text amendment to establish the use to be able to do this use on their property in GB. So we discussed potential options, things that might mitigate some of those compatibility concerns. And in our pre-application conference, when we were discussing their particular property and the use that they wanted to do, we felt like to really mitigate and address compatibility issues, that potentially allowing a special use permit or the use with a special use permit in GB would be appropriate. It would allow the applicant to bring evidence to show that their use is consistent with the land use plan, won't injure the value of adjoining or abutting lands, will be in harmony in the area which it's located, and will not impact negatively impact public health and safety. And then also, we talked about crafting additional specific standards for the use when it's allowed in GB. Currently, the use is only allowed in light and heavy industrial with a zoning permit. In your agenda packet, you'll see some history of how this particular use has been allowed in the county over the years. And we've also given you a little bit of history or current status of how this use is reviewed and permitted in adjacent districts as well, Dare County and some of the towns of Dare County as well as Pasquotank County. So the Bears did submit this text amendment application to establish tattoo parlors in the general business zoning district with a special use permit. And I'll get to the language of their particular request. So you can see here, they're amending the summary use table to allow tattoo parlor body piercing establishment in GB with a special use permit. Here, there's currently a separation requirement for this use. Again, the use only being allowed in LI and HI, and since in GB, this use may be closer to residential uses. Generally, general business has more of that personal service and neighborhood-facing uses that they would continue to require that 500-foot setback, except for studios located in GB. And in doing so, they also added some additional standards for, well, firstly, looked at the sign regulations and requested an amendment to the signs, which they're not super concerned about getting a big sign on their property, and I'll get to the planning board recommendation here in a moment. Staff just noticed that basically the signage provision of this ordinance says you basically can't have a sign. And so that's why that particular language was written. And then there were additional standards. This speaks to removing the separation requirement from residential uses, that in the general business district, a type C perimeter landscape buffer or a minimum 6-foot tall opaque fencing shall be installed adjacent to residential structures within 100 feet of the studio. And then that all tattooing and body piercing services shall occur within a fully enclosed structure. The planning board felt like the signage portion of the ordinance should be reduced, and this particular language is consistent with what we allow for home occupations. So it's a small sign, no more than 6 feet, square feet, no more than 4 feet in height. So intended to be a very small and discreet. Then the planning board discussed additional standards they felt would be needed to mitigate potential compatibility or off-site impacts of this use. They discussed prohibiting this use in Corolla, continue to maintain the landscape buffer or opaque fencing requirement adjacent to residential structures. They added a 10-mile radius that tattoo parlor in GB can't be within 10 miles of another tattoo parlor in GB. Added some hours of operation, 10 to 6, and then also added that through the special use permit process, the board may limit Sunday hours of operation. Retaining the that the services should occur in a fully enclosed structure. And then you may have noted, I'm just now realizing that at your desk, I did place a new copy of the planning board edits. Although the minutes of the staff report did reflect the full planning board motion, the edited version did not include this number 6, that the planning board said that if a tattoo parlor or body piercing establishment is permitted in GB, that would be the only use of the parcel. So that would be the only commercial use of the parcel. So, and we talked about, you know, you're saying that in a strip mall or something like that would not be permitted, and that was discussed, and that was their intent.
So it's only single standing structures.
Correct. Gotcha. And the only use of that parcel.
So you can't have 2 on the same parcel. Gotcha.
Right. Or a restaurant and a tattoo parlor on the same, any kind of combination of uses would also not be permitted. That's what that provision is getting to. And the applicants can speak to this. I believe they are in agreement that the ordinance language as the planning board recommended was acceptable. So they accept the conditions that the planning board placed on the text amendment. There are some policies of the land use plan that may speak to this regarding economic development ventures. There's also land use policies related to community character and established visions, and considering the design and location of intensive and potentially incompatible land uses. There's policies about continuing to encourage businesses to coordinate site design with nearby businesses. Continue to prohibit incompatible or poorly planned commercial encroachment near residential areas. Consider the adverse effects of a development or land use decision. Support new and existing commercial developments that adhere to quality, community appearance, and design standards, including landscaping improvements and signs. And then economic development goal 1, to support the retention and expansion of existing businesses and promote the development of new businesses, especially those that help diversify the local economy and are compatible with the county's natural amenities and environment. The board, I'm sure you're familiar with these review standards that you may consider in making your decision. The staff did recommend approval initially with the special use permit and the specific standards, the use-specific standards. And the planning board recommended approval of their edited version that you have before you because it's consistent with the general purpose and intent of the UDO, and it's consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, including land use goals 2 and 3, and land use policies 1.3, 2.1, 2.2, and economic development goal 1. I think that's the end. Yep. I'd be happy to answer questions that the board has at this time.
Questions of Ms. Turner?
I do have a question. The additional standards, that's what the plan is on C, I guess, in this docket that we had, the 10 miles, the other stuff. That is the stuff that the planning board, you said, put on them?
They added those.
Or added
when they
those.
made their motion for approval, it was conditional on those edits.
Okay.
Jenny, can you talk me through the planning board's thinking on exempting Corolla? If it's not applicable for Corolla, what makes it applicable or appropriate, I guess more word, appropriate for the rest of the county?
Yeah, I don't recall that there was a lot of conversation surrounding the Corolla exemption. It was mentioned, and then it was mentioned that it could be excluded if they didn't feel like they wanted it in the Corolla resort area.
Isn't the whole county kind of a resort area?
I think you could argue that.
Okay, thank you.
And Jenny, when the board had made changes to these usages, we've spent days and months, discussions, work sessions, I mean, over and over, and Justin and different scenarios. I mean, we took some time when we made these last changes, if I'm not correct. I mean, we just didn't do it.
You mean when the ordinance was adopted in 2013 with the amendments?
Yes, and then as we've
Right.
gone through the years, if we were looking for change, we usually had long work sessions and days and discussions, and then, I mean, I thought we've done that over the years, is that correct?
Sure, yeah, I mean, you had a work session on this particular
Correct, but we
topic.
didn't act on it then, yes.
Correct.
Are you talking about when the GB zoning was removed?
Yeah, when we do
back in
when we did
2013?
rezoning throughout the county, we took time, looked at
Yeah.
different areas, structure, what we want stuff,
Yeah.
where we wanted to see stuff, or want to see light industrial.
Yeah.
And we had long work sessions on whereabouts in
Yeah.
different areas in the county we want stuff
Yeah.
associated with, yeah.
Yeah, Ms. Turner, can you walk us through a little bit, if you might not have been here then, but can you talk us through the history? I know there were some changes made in 2007 with the zoning with respect to tattoo parlors, and then changes again happened in 2013. Do you have any context there?
So I do know that in 2013, I saw some edits of the UDO. That was the rewrite of the entire UDO. And there was an initial version that continued to bring forward allowing tattoo parlors in the general business district. Dug around in like emails and things and couldn't find anything specific about why exactly it was removed at that time in 2013.
Yeah.
So.
I too wondered about leaving Corolla out because when I looked through the land use plan earlier today and I saw the results of a survey, and it indicated an overwhelming majority of the folks in Corolla, they wanted to allow more commercial, more general business. So,
Well, this would allow tattoo parlors in general business. So before that wasn't a possibility. My comment is, so in here we've got 10 miles from any other tattoo parlor. There's 43 miles between 168 and 158, which we consider the corridor coming through Currituck County. Would that 10 miles only be applied to general business tattoo? So there's a tattoo studio in Moyock. You could have one 2 miles south of it. That doesn't apply, correct?
That one's in general business.
Okay. So
That's a non-conforming use. So what we talked about earlier, like the history of it was allowed at one point in this zoning district and now is not. So I think you're talking about Big Country, Tattoo and Moya.
So, yeah.
And then it's also in your staff report, and I didn't hit on it directly, but there's the one that's been operating in Grandy without the proper permits that's currently under violation. And so in crafting that 10-mile separation, the planning board considered where they're trying to operate, where the existing ones are non-conforming, and then maybe there's an opportunity for the one to become conforming depending on if this text amendment is passed. And
but I mean,
think
like
there could be potentially one more south, maybe Point Harbor.
So the concern
area.
of 50 tattoo shops up and down 168, 158, this limits that to possibly a total of 4.
Possibly, right.
Because right now, if we would approve this and they were to, do theirs, that would be 3, and that would leave 1 further south.
And then,
There's
and then
places-
Corolla, then we could
Well,
do
there's
Corolla.
places.
Corolla.
There's places in Corolla. If you use AI or Google, that says currently offer Pearson and stuff like that. So it's kind of already there.
Illegal. But if this were to pass, then all of the ones that are operating now would have to follow these rules as well?
The one that's non-conforming would not, but the one that doesn't have the proper permits would have to come in under this ordinance and see if they can get permitted properly.
What if another tattoo studio does their paperwork before the one in Grandy? What would happen in that situation?
Well, it would depend on how those applications are received.
Right?
And if one came in before and got approved, then that would knock them out.
It's like the campground.
So-
issue.
They're not legally operating, so they have no
So
vesting.
walk me through what's the punishment? Did they just keep operating without a permit and just,
Well, they would have to, we would continue with enforcement to
so are
require
they
them to
accruing,
cease.
are they accruing civil penalties?
I'm not sure if I think we were not accruing the civil penalties until we figured out if this was going to be an opportunity for them to become compliant. It's kind of one of those things that kind of flew under the radar for a while. I don't know that it was
Are they in
really.
general business?
No,
Are they
it
located
wasn't
in
even
general
really a
business?
complaint.
They're
It was
in
more
Grandy.
like
It is. It's by
oh,
the property me and my dad used to.
that's not zoned properly
Golf
either,
course.
so.
Yeah. Now
Well,
solar farm.
If somebody were to beat them to it, they could potentially put one in front of the Carolina Club at the entrance.
They could, if they met
General
all
B,
the
yeah.
requirements, they could submit the application and see if they could get the permit approved.
Or the
Sound
Joe
Park.
Marlett Club,
Or Sound Park?
or
Wherever
General
there's, where there's
business.
GB
so
and they
what's-
can meet the use
Why
specific.
are
I
we
mean-
protecting the golf course?
Yes.
If they build a house on their property and like I said, their hours of
What's the
operation
part?
from 10 to 6, they probably could have just
Maybe we
done
should
it.
do
It
15
Probably would have been a
miles.
decade before we would have even known.
My other question is the process for a special use permit in this manner would come back before the Board of Commissioners for approval, correct?
That's correct.
Or anybody else.
So
For-
this
for
is just
anyone.
for
For
this is
anyone.
just for the text amendment then.
This is the text amendment, yeah.
But I mean,
yeah.
the special use permit would be the same process that we use
For a special,
for any special use permit.
Correct.
Quasi judicial.
They-
Quasi judicial.
correct.
If they meet the criteria, they get the permit.
Yeah, but if this passes, then any general business location, if they pass it, could be built.
But they
No,
have that
that's-
distance. They have the distance.
Yeah, but I mean, if it passes the criteria,
Yeah.
they could.
Well,
With the
it's a general
distance.
business district that doesn't have any other businesses on it. This is the sole commercial component on that piece of property. Strip malls, multi-store facing units, all of that stuff's excluded, and it's got to be 10 miles from one that's already established.
Correct, but there's still a lot of opportunities in the county that could happen.
Yeah, they'd have to be on its own lot, basically how this text amendment.
If we approve this one, or if we approve this text amendment and they were to bring forward the special use permit, and we were to apply it, there would be the opportunity for one more up and down the corridor further south.
And in Corolla.
And in Corolla.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, the concern that I've heard was there would be tattoo parlors every, 50 foot up
Right.
and down 158, 168, which they've crafted this standard to prevent that very thing from happening.
So does the 10-mile distance apply to tattoo parlors in other zoning categories? So
Just
light,
GB.
so there could be more.
If they were in light industrial.
If they were in
Light
light
industrial, they
industrial.
can have two, so we could.
But I'm
that's a good-
just
that's a
saying
good
through
point.
the county, throughout the county.
Because we've already got established locations.
Or
you're
we
right.
could scratch out GB and just say 10 miles.
Also, the setbacks were 500 foot, and they've been decreased to 100. Why is that?
Well, I was talking about the use of allowing this particular use in GB, and that generally general business districts are in close proximity to residences because we allow residences in GB already. And so in order for them to have the opportunity to show compatibility, that has to, for their particular site, that provision has to be changed for them to be able to do what they're trying to do. So that's the request of, and it actually takes the ordinance and makes it more consistent with what the prior requirements were, which didn't have the residential separation component
But that would apply countywide,
for GB,
correct?
only
Okay.
GB.
Is it possible to only allow it in GB and not light or heavy industrial?
But that's not in front of
Yes,
us,
that's
so-
not this application,
That's not
though.
in front of
That would be
us,
another
Right.
application.
But I'm asking if we approve this, could we do away with it in light industrial and heavy industrial?
It would be another text amendment.
Another one.
And the board had to approve it, you're right.
To be sure, the planning board had some rationale or a finding of fact as to why Corolla was exempted.
I mean, they discussed the resort area of Corolla. I mean, there wasn't a ton of discussion about that particular provision.
The average age probably of the resident in Corolla is probably over 60, and if they don't have a tattoo by the age of 60, they probably ain't gonna get one in Corolla, just being honest.
Are you discriminating?
No, I'm not
not
discriminating.
about
I mean, if somebody wants one, I don't care. I mean, I don't have a tattoo, but if somebody wants one, I don't care.
I was at that meeting and I heard one person on the planning board say, not Corolla, and there, as Jenny said, there was not a lot of discussion.
But it says right here, like I said, and it's not tattoo, but it says body piercing. There's places, offered in Corolla. So is that illegal?
Body
Places
Yes,
that are-
if there are body piercing
Piercings that are
establishments.
doing piercing, whatever. I mean, in Corolla, it's happening
It's
right
not
now.
permitted.
Do we know the distance between your property and the
Grandy.
Grandy site?
Yes, sir.
What
It's
is it?
14 miles
Yeah.
between us and the Granby site, and then 16 miles between us and the
Thank you, sir.
Big Country.
Big country.
13, and then you wouldn't have no more.
Make it 12.
No, you
Then
make
that's
13.
pretty much done.
Well, you could, if there's light industrial areas, you could.
Yeah, or heavy
You
industrial.
can, you
Yeah.
can, or heavy.
I still,
you can.
I don't see what's in. I mean, I don't. That's just my opinion. But I don't see what's industrial about it.
All right, any other
Hold
questions?
on, I got that fixed.
I'll just make a note about Corolla. It probably would be very difficult to locate standalone use in GB and Corolla. Most of the commercial is clustered.
Yeah, that
Is it,
has nothing to do with why my question is.
Okay.
It's-
Ms. Turner, if we were to remove the GB district, because we can amend this.
Depending on how the
Like I wanted to
as long as we
scratch-
don't stray too far from.
If I wanted to scratch in the GB district from section 3 of the additional standards and change 10 to 12 miles.
You could amend that, for sure.
But that doesn't change the light industrial, though.
Yeah, it does, because I removed the
Just
general
change the
business.
it means that
Separation, but it still allows
now,
it in there.
right, it means that now the separation would apply.
So if there is one in light industrial already, or somebody's got an application, then it restricts somebody else close enough to that
Yes.
in JB.
Was there any discussion in any parts of the county about this, or just here at the courthouse?
Just, it's their application, just the discussion that happened in the work session.
I mean, the reason I'm asking is I have had some phone calls. People were concerned, and I just, they want to know. And I told them it would be here tonight. I don't know if they're here or not, but it was here. It would be here tonight.
What was your question? Was there anyone at the planning or what?
No, this text amendment is being written for his particular location, but it has countywide effect. So the lower Currituck, and if you remove Corolla, are two areas that could be impacted, and have those people had an opportunity to weigh in on this? I mean, when we had our community meeting in Corolla, we didn't discuss it, and we had our community meeting in Lower Currituck, we didn't discuss this. But I think there would be some interest from those areas, since they would be possibly the next area. That's why I'm asking.
And that's what I was getting to earlier, when we had those community meetings to draw the different zonings, what you like to see in the different communities. And we came up with a different, like you tell, or, we had community input on what you'd see in these areas. And that's how we came with that after many meetings and discussions.
Yeah, but the last time we talked about it, this was brought up and there was no conclusion to the discussion.
Well, we tabled it for the time being.
And now it's on
Well,
table.
but we're not having community meetings on it.
It's
though.
not clear why it was taken out of GB to begin with.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it used to be GB.
Yeah. There were, I guess, all the planning board members that were there, I think they were representative of all areas of the county. And the general comment was that, when this all changed from general business, it was a time of, that maybe tattoos were not as popular. However, one planning board member, I believe, did state that, he had traveled for the last couple of weeks and he had noticed if you didn't have ink, you were in the minority, that it had become more popular and people wanted it and more people wanted it. Not to say that I want it.
I was in the Navy.
I myself do not, I'm not doing that. I don't like the needles, but he said, this particular planning board member said that.
The planning board is appointed by this board. It's not.
And there were only 4 members of the planning board present when this was heard.
Was it 4?
4 or 5.
4.
I think that's right.
There were
Yeah,
4.
Just a majority.
Just at a quorum.
Yeah.
Hey, Ms. Turner, so the 10 miles, or we amended it to the 12 miles, is that highway miles or that is the crow flies?
As the crow flies. That's
Right.
how it's written.
Right,
It's
so if it's
actually
as the-
parcel boundary to parcel boundary, I believe.
So if it's as the crow flies, you're gonna capture Corolla anyway. If you got anything going up and down the mainland, down the middle or lower
Right.
end of the county.
Yeah.
Across
It's
the
gonna-
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Corolla wouldn't, based on the language of that ordinance, because it's not
I
12
mean, we
miles.
should rewrite it so Crawlers has the opportunity to get one.
Sure.
They wouldn't have
They
the
won't.
You can get a piercing while you're over there, Mike, and then get a tattoo.
You can make it highway miles,
You could.
Yeah, we could make it.
but anyways,
A lot of discussions we're having, I can tell you that.
yeah, I don't think that the bulk of the county is aware of the potential change, particularly in Lower Currituck. I can't speak for Moyock or the middle of the county because there's one in Moyock and there's one, but I think the folks in Lower Currituck are not aware.
And our member of the planning board was not present that night.
Was all of this that's proposed included on the website with the agenda? Ms. Walton?
Yes.
Of course.
It has to be.
Yeah.
All right, any further questions? The applicant would like to come forward.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, County staff, and members of the community. My name is Mitchell Bear. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I also want to thank the county staff and the planning board for the time, care, and professionalism that they have put into reviewing this request. I am here with my wife, Lisa Marie, asking for your support of the Bear text amendment to allow tattoo parlors and body piercing establishments in the general business zoning district through a special use permit and reasonable standards. For me, this request is personal. Currituck is part of my story. I grew up here, I went to school here. I sat in art class at Currituck County High School as a young man who loved art but did not yet know what that gift would become. One of the most important moments of my life happened through this county's school system during Art History Week. Currituck County High School brought in a professional tattoo artist to speak with students and demonstrate tattooing as a real form of art. That moment changed the direction of my life. It showed me that art did not have to stay in a sketchbook. It could become a skilled trade. It could become a profession. It could become a way to connect with people, serve people, support a family, and build a future. So when I say Currituck helped shape my career, I mean that literally. This community helped me open the door to the work that I have now dedicated my life to. Over the years, I have built a professional career as a tattoo artist. Lisa Marie and I currently own and operate a private tattoo studio in Virginia Beach, and we serve clients who travel from all over the country. My work focuses on large-scale custom tattooing, geometry, sacred geometry mandalas, and ornamental blockwork. But tattooing to me is not just about putting art on skin. It's about trust. People come to us with stories, milestones, memories, grief, healing, and transformation. Many sit with us for multiple days. They are trusting us with their bodies and with something permanent. That kind of work requires a calm environment. It requires privacy. It requires preparation, professionalism, cleanliness, and care. That is the type of studio we are trying to bring home to Currituck. We are not asking to open a busy walk-in tattoo shop. We are asking for the opportunity to operate a small, private, appointment-only studio on our property in Maple, where we also plan to build our home and our long-term future. Our business model is intentionally quiet and controlled. We operate by appointment only. We do not allow walk-in traffic. We typically work with one client at a time. There is no outdoor activity, no events, no amplified outdoor music, no large staff, and no reason for people to gather outside. This is a low-volume, low-impact professional service, and daily operation is more comparable to a private art studio, an esthetician, a cosmetic service provider, or a professional office than what many people picture when they hear the term tattoo parlor. Tattooing today is a regulated professional service. It requires sanitation, licensing, bloodborne pathogen training, sterilization practice, disposable use procedures, and compliance with health regulations. First aid and CPR trainings are also what we maintain. We take that seriously. Our entire business depends on trust, cleanliness, safety, and professionalism. This is not an informal or unregulated operation. This is a licensed, inspected, health-regulated personal service. I also understand that compatibility has been one of the major concerns in this process. That's why with a special use permit path makes sense. It gives the board oversight. It allows standards to be applied. It allows the county to make sure that each location is appropriate. We are asking for a thoughtful update that reflects how modern private tattoo studios operate today. The planning board also suggested a very strong limitations, including a 10-mile separation between tattoo parlors in the general business district. That's a major safeguard. This 10-mile separation means the amendment would only not open the door to tattoo shops on every corner. Realistically, there would not be more than 3 in the entire county. That shows that this is not uncontrolled growth. This is a carefully limited, carefully regulated pathway. It is also my understanding that other tattoo establishments have already been operating in general business areas without creating the kinds of problems people may fear. That matters because it shows this type of use can exist responsibly when it is operated professionally. Our business also brings value to the community. Many of our clients travel for my work. They come from outside of the area, often for full days and multiple day appointments. When they come to Currituck, they will need places to stay, places to eat, places to shop. They will be staying at our hotels, staying in local market, or shopping at local markets, buying gas, eating locally, and spending money in this county. Because our work is appointment-based and often planned far in advance, our clients come here intentionally. They are not just passing through. They are coming to Currituck for a professional service and supporting other local businesses while they are here. For me, this is a full circle moment. The same county where I first saw tattooing presented as a real artistic career is now the county where I'm asking to bring that career home. We support reasonable standards. We support county oversight. We support safety. We support compatibility with surrounding properties. We support doing this the right way. I respectfully ask you to vote yes on this text amendment. A yes vote supports responsible small business growth. A yes vote supports a modern, regulated, low-impact professional service. And for me, personally, a yes vote supports a Currituck native bringing his life's work back home. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and your service to Currituck County.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I got one for planning, Jack. Can we get clarification, or is it definitively defined, the 10 miles? Did planning board's intention of as the crow flies, or that their intention was linear mileage, highway mileage?
It wasn't highway mileage. It was as the crow flies, and how we crafted that language was exactly how the campground language was crafted.
And that's it, okay.
It was from the exterior parcel boundaries of the use
Just
to
as a
the
big
adjacent
delineate, just a
parcel.
radius of 10
So
miles.
I just checked, Mike, from the one in Grandy to the Point Harbor Bridge is 11 and a half miles straight line. So if we change that to 12 miles, there would be none in Lower Currituck. The one in Grandy would be the furthest south.
I do have a question for the applicant.
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason why you didn't already look where they're allowed to be established, or why you didn't want to put one where they're only allowed in the county?
Basically, we found a piece of property that we really loved, we fell in love with, and then we found out that it was residential and commercial, and we saw that the zoning laws for tattooing was supposed to be in light industrial and industrial, so we would like to change that, and that's really the only reason
But you didn't look to see what was available out there already?
No, sir.
You did not, okay.
You purchased the lot you purchased to build a home on primarily.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have something prepared as well.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, County staff, and members of the community. My name is Lisa Marie Bear. I am Mitchell's wife, his business partner, and I'm also a tattoo artist. Mitchell shared how Currituck helped shape the beginning of his career. I want to speak about what we are building now and why this property means so much more to us than just a place to operate business. We are building our forever home here. Our son will be starting JP Knapp early college this year. We are investing our savings, our work, and our future into Currituck County because this is where we want to put down our roots. This property is not just meant to be our home and our studio, it is meant to become our sanctuary. Our vision is peaceful, private, and intentional. We plan to build a privacy fence around the property, create a large garden, increase pollinators, and care for the land in a way that adds beauty and life to the area. We are not trying to overdevelop this property. We are trying to build something respectful. Our studio fits into that same vision. We are not proposing a walk-in tattoo shop. We are not proposing a loud, high-traffic, disruptive business. We are proposing a private, appointment-only studio where all clients are scheduled in advance. All services happen indoors, and the environment is clean, calm, safe, and regulated. As a tattoo artist, I know how much responsibility this work requires. Tattooing is not casual. It requires sanitation, training, focus, consent, health standards, bloodborne pathogen training, first aid, CPR, and a serious commitment to client safety. Every client who walks into our studio is trusting us with their body and their health. We take that very seriously. Our business model is intentionally low impact. We are a husband and wife team. We do not rely on walk-ins. We do not host events. We do not serve alcohol. We do not create outdoor activity. We do not have crowds. We do not have roadside parking. Our clients are scheduled, usually one at a time, and our parking is on site. I also want to respectfully put the surrounding area in context. The residential homes next to us are also zoned general business. One door down is Currituck Trading Post, which serves alcohol and allows customers to park off the highway. About a quarter mile up the road is Morris Farm Market, which serves alcohol and hosts large concerts and events. I say that with respect for those businesses, but compared to those existing uses, what we are proposing is extremely quiet, controlled, and low impact. We will not have concerts, we will not have alcohol, we will not have walk-ins, we will not have outdoor customer activity. We will not have crowds. We will not have people coming and going all day. Our studio will also bring value to the community. Many of our clients travel from outside the area for full day or multi-day appointments. While they come here, they will stay in hotels, eat locally, shop at local markets, buy gas, and spend money in Currituck County. This is a business that can bring economic value without bringing disruption. We have also submitted letters of support from our neighbors and a character letter from our current studio landlord in Virginia Beach. Those letters matter because they come from people who have seen how we actually operate. They know we are clean, respectful, and responsible and professional. We respect this board, we respect our neighbors, we respect this county, and we respect the importance of protecting Currituck's character. We are not asking for a special treatment. We are asking for a fair path forward for a modern, safe, regulated, appointment-only studio that fits the general business district and operates with care. As a wife, I am proud of Mitchell. As a tattoo artist, I am proud of the care we bring to this craft. As a mother, I want our son to see what it means to work hard, build with integrity, respect the land, and contribute to the place you call home. Please vote yes on this text amendment. A yes vote supports responsible small business. A yes vote supports a low-impact, safe, regulated professional service. A yes vote supports a business that brings clients into Currituck to support local hotels, markets, restaurants, and shops. And a yes vote allows our family to bring our work, our livelihood, and our future home to Currituck County. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and your service to this community. I have, in addition to what you've received from the planning team that we have been working very diligently on for the past 6 months, our special use permit and documentation of what that looks like for a tattoo studio. So I would love to present you guys with this.
Give that to her, but tonight we're considering the text amendment only, so we can't really.
I just wanted you to understand the
But
picture
we'll get
of
that.
Wait, that would be ex parte, would it not?
Well, the application hasn't been submitted.
This is
application.
this is a text amendment,
I
but
know, but if
in
that
the
were to
future-
become an application, would it be ex parte at that point, even though it's from the applicant
use the
to
same
us?
I don't think so because it's from the applicant themselves and they're present here and they would essentially be present at the quasi judicial hearing. So I think it's,
But we're not voting on it.
but yeah, and it's not
yeah.
before you.
So that document discusses specifically what we're putting into play tonight. And that is the next, and it's not necessarily the next step, that is the first step to approving tattoo parlors and general business with a special use permit.
yeah, but tonight we're just considering the text
Text
amendment
amendment.
because
That's
the
irrelevant
text
tonight.
amendment could be for any business, so we can't consider just a
What you present. Yeah.
one
If
business
this were to be
tonight.
approved, that would be your next
Then
step.
that would be the next step.
Right.
I'd like to say this, and just out of curiosity, and I mean, like I said, it's general business. I don't know why it's in light industrial. I didn't make it or set it that way. But the one in Moyoc, in the last 12 years, we had one police call there where we served one civil paper on somebody that worked there. So I don't know, I've received phone calls both ways, good and bad, from citizens in the community. But we served one civil paper, no fights, no, nothing like that. So, I mean, that's in the last 12 years.
I read through the packet that we got, and I read all the letters that you submitted of support, and there was one from, I guess, your current landlord.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been in that Virginia Beach location?
This November will be 5 years.
Because he really spoke mighty highly of you all to be there 5 years.
Home, or is that just a business?
It's a business.
Business in Town Center, located in Town Center, Virginia Beach.
And I saw the drawing of what you plan to build,
Yes.
your home and business. And that is very different from what a typical tattoo place is.
Yes, ma'am.
We have no signage, no light pollution. The only reason why we even considered having a small sign was for emergency services, food deliveries, packages. At the end of the day, we will be ordering shop supplies, and if the client wants to order food, we need to make sure that food is going to get to the client.
And the signage was actually suggested by the planning board.
It was, yes.
All right, any other
I
questions?
just want to say, I don't doubt your sincerity and your ethics about the type of business that you run and will run.
Yes, ma'am.
My concerns, however, are that not all operators will be as scrupulous as you.
And we absolutely understand that and respect that, which is why we put in the stipulation of a special use permit so that a tattoo parlor cannot just set up shop without standing in front of you all today with a proper business plan.
Is that how it will work?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
All right.
In the GB.
Doesn't think there's anything in here that would preclude you guys from being able to see it. So it's up to you if you want me to distribute.
We're only at one level now.
Yeah.
So I would say it's, not knocking that they put the packet together, but we're here and
Yeah, and
We can look at it.
in my opinion, they can look at it. I mean, this is a legislative hearing, and I think we all know we're not here for the special use permit hearing. So you can review it. That's up to you, though. You don't have to, but you certainly can.
If they want them, they can have them. I mean, you can pass them out.
I'll wait to see if it goes to a special use permit. Thank you.
Ms. Turner, when we had that discussion, I think it was discussed that this would be done as a conditional zoning. Why was that not pursued?
I don't recall having a discussion that would be conditional zoning. I recall having discussions about the different types that could be, the different types of permits that could be applied for. When you think of a conditional rezoning and you think of a property, one of the factors you have to consider is the size of the property. And generally, these are going to be relatively small pieces of property where a tattoo parlor would locate. And it seemed more prudent to allow them with a special use permit in general business because they are personal services establishments and the way they operate is similar to other general business uses. But that there could be this overall special use permit where they come in and actually show that they're meeting the findings, they're meeting the specific standards of the ordinance. And so that's why this was the particular path that that staff initially in our pre-app meeting discussed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Not right now.
Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing and let the folks that signed up come speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is April Bear. Ask you to please state your name and address for the record.
I'm April Bear. I live at 115 Trevor Way in Moyock. I'm Mitchell Bear's mother, and I'm here tonight in support of their text amendment. You've heard Mitchell speak about the connection to Currituck County and how this county helped the beginning of his career. You've heard Lisa Marie speak about their family, their business, and you've also heard about their son, my grandson. Sorry, that's been accepted to JP Knapp, and he'll start in August. We're so proud of him.
You should be.
So as his mother, I've watched him grow from a little boy with a pencil in his hand making drawings at home into this incredible tattoo artist that has been nationally recognized and nationally awarded here in the United States. He's gone to all kinds of invitationals and won best of shows, and he's got incredible, incredible work. So he worked hard for everything he has. Nothing's been handed to him. He built his career through long hours, discipline, sacrifice, and a commitment to do things the right way. He had to go in front of the Board of Commissioners, as a matter of fact, in the city of Virginia Beach to be able to get his tattoo studio approved in Virginia Beach as well. So he's not unwise in how this works with the community. He is thoughtful, respectful, and professional. They want to operate a quiet, private, appointment-only studio in a way that respects their neighbors and the character of the county. Their neighbors have also written letters of support, which are in that package that was given out as well, in support of Mitch and Lisa Marie and this business that they want to operate, which is huge to have other Currituck County residents write these letters of support to them who live immediately adjacent to them and say that we support them and we want them here. So I understand that the board has a responsibility to look carefully at changes like this, and as a longtime resident of Currituck County, I respect that. Currituck's character matters. The people that live here matter. The future of this county matters. But I also believe there's room in Currituck for responsible small businesses built by people who care about doing things the right way, coming here and getting approval, doing the right things, getting the right amendments, getting the right permits, doing it correctly. As a mother, it means a great deal to me to have my child come home to build something lasting in the place that helped shape him. The Imagine Currituck 2024 Vision Plan advises that Currituck County's vision is to be a sustainable, economically resilient community that honors its heritage while adapting to future challenges and opportunities. This text amendment and business opportunity falls squarely within this vision, as evidenced by the careful crafting and the unanimous vote by the Planning Board to approve this text amendment on May 12, 2026, in order to bring this request to you, the Board of Commissioners. I respectfully ask that you vote yes for the Bear text amendment. I'm not the only one that supports this request. This is not just one family standing alone. There's a room full of people that came tonight to support these kids, and it's to my heart, all these people came. So along with the multiple letters of support that was included in their application, people who support and believe in them, people who know their character and know they deserve the opportunity to build their future here in Currituck County. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I hope that you vote yes for this text amendment.
Thank you. Next is Jessica Rosen. Ask you also give your name and address for the record.
Hello, yes, I'm Jessica Rawson.
I'm sorry, Rawson.
It's okay. It happens all the time. I live at 112 Trevor Way in Moyac, right across the street from Miss April here. I am also here to say that I do support the text amendment. Bringing them in here would be beneficial to the community. I've lived here for about 5 years now, and I've run my own small business for the last 3 years. I'm a mobile massage therapist, and I have my own business, and I think they would definitely be able to bring more to the community with this amendment. Plus, the fact that it does have the stipulations with the 10-mile rule. You're not going to sit there and get all the different ones popping up all over the place. They're one of the most professional and ambitious people I've ever met, and this is their road to get to their goal, and I'm here to support that, and I'm here to support the community widening and bringing in a little bit more different businesses as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Amy Hill. Please also give your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Amy Hill. I reside at 132 Trevor Way in Moyac. I'm here to ask for support to the text amendment to change tattoo studios to be in general business. I'm a medical assistant and licensed esthetician in Currituck, and have recently received a tattoo from Mitch, and the experience was very quiet, peaceful, no additional traffic. So I would hope that you would vote yes on this change, and thank you.
Thank you. The next person signed their name, but they live on 117 Trevor Way.
That'd be me.
That would be Malcolm Murray then. Okay.
That is a
Malcolm Murray,
signature.
117 Trevor Way. I'm here to support these fine folks. And I would like to say something. If you have an image of a tattoo parlor, and you have an image of like biker gangs and cigarettes and bar fights and this, that, and the other, this business will not be that. I've seen his business in Town Center. He's a professional. He's clean, and he does the right thing. So just have that in the back of your mind.
Thank you, sir. Laura Lane. Laura Lane, going once.
Somebody left a few minutes ago.
Okay. Donna Murray. Also ask you to give your name and address for the record.
Donna Murray. I live at 100 Emperor's Isle in Coinjock. I just want to say that I'm in favor for them to open this tattoo parlor, and I hope y'all vote yes.
Thank you. Anne Marie McGonigal.
You got it.
Yeah.
Good job. Good evening. My name is Anne Marie, and I'm here tonight as the mother of Lisa Marie, mother-in-law of Mitch. And I want to begin by saying that what brings Lisa Marie and Mitch before you tonight is much more than a business proposal. It is the result of years of hard work, dedication, and careful planning. They have invested their time, energy, and resources into building a thoughtful business plan and following every step of the process to ensure their request is responsible, professional, and well considered. They have chosen this area because they genuinely care about this community, As stated, Mitch grew up here. His parents continue to live here, remain actively involved in the community. Their son, Mitchell, grandson, we're all very proud. As April mentioned, JD Knapp. This move is not simply a business decision. It's an investment in this community, and they do call this home. As a family, we have seen firsthand the commitment they bring to their work. Cleanliness, sanitation, safety, and professionalism are at the heart of everything they do. Tattooing is both an art and responsibility, and Lisa Marie and Mitch take that responsibility seriously. They are committed to maintaining the highest standards while creating a welcoming, respectful, and professional environment for every client who walks through their doors. What stands out most to me is that they are not looking for shortcuts. They have always worked diligently, followed the proper procedures, and approached this opportunity with care and respect for the community. They understand that being successful business owners means being good neighbors as well. I respectfully ask you to approve this text amendment and allow Lisa Marie and Mitch to move forward with a business that reflects their professionalism, dedication, and commitment to the community. And it's been said by everybody, but I raised this girl, she's a firecracker. She does not stop for 12 seconds. Between her stained glass business, her coffee scrub business she started at 18 years old, they are truly the most professional. None of this is BS, I assure you. They care about the clients that come through the door. They are trying to build a business, they're just the safest, cleanest people, and they really do care about the people that come through their door. And this, like he just stated, this is not the tattoo parlors of yesteryear. It's not. It's a spiritual excursion. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. You've heard it from everybody else, but it's true. They will enhance this business. They will not impact it except positively. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, we have Marshall Rowe. Marshall, it is getting bedtime. All right, that's all we had signed up. Is there anyone? Yes, sir? Give your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Taylor Morrison. I live at 849 Willington Road in Gates, North Carolina. I know it's not Currituck County, but it is also a North Carolina county, and I would like to show support for Mitchell and Lisa here as a fellow tattoo shop owner in Gates, North Carolina. I recently opened up a business with my wife as well, who is also a tattoo artist, and I'd like to speak on our behalf on how it's been for our community. We are the first and only tattoo shop Gates has ever had, so I don't know exactly what it's going to be like for them adding to the community. But the overwhelming support that I have got since I have opened up my doors with opening a quality tattoo establishment has been overwhelming. From grandmothers and grandfathers to uncles, aunts, everybody is just so thrilled that their family members finally have a spot to go get high quality tattoos with high standards. It's done well. I'm currently booked up for a good, 8 months of solid work, and everybody else seems to be really surprised at how well the community received it. And I want to let you guys know you will most likely end up with the same level of support. Now, he's not the type of tattoo artist who's doing the walk-in tattoos as been established. He has a very niche style, and it's sought out by everywhere throughout the United States and abroad, but I'm sure you can find some cool geometry tattoos on the other side of the ocean. As far as the United States, I do know that Mitch is a highly recommended sacred geometry artist for the whole of United States, not just Virginia and North Carolina. He truly does have clients travel from all over the United States on a regular basis, seeking out his high quality work. I think this will also boost the art scene in your guys' area. I don't know how you guys feel about artists in your area, but I do think art brings a lot of character and a lot of color to the community. And I think you guys would be very wise to accept this tax amendment. Hope you guys vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have signed up. I'm going to close the public hearing and ask the board for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I have some comments.
Yes, sir.
I opened up a business in Currituck County, and I have a business in Currituck County, but I had to find a location that would allow my business to operate. We've got auto repair people that are doing garages in locations to have businesses, but they're in the proper locations. We have locations all over this county for proper and all different types of businesses. We currently have locations for this type of business. We're not excluding tattoo parlors. We have locations for them. We have locations for auto parts. We have locations for garages. We have locations all through this county for types of businesses. And the sincerity of doing good work, I'm sure they're going to be the perfect people doing this. But can we say that if we open up to Otto County, can we say that for the next tattoo parlor? Can we say that for, and if we did not have a place for specific businesses, then I think we should immediately address that. But we have locations for this. And
So-
that's my concern.
So my thought, I was in the same thinking with you, right? I thought this should have been a conditional use zoning. It makes more sense that way. But if we change it from, if we remove the general business aspect to it and we change from 10 to 12 miles, the bridge is at 11 and a half from the tattoo shop in Grandy that's currently operating illegally. We make them legal. We provide this, which is essentially the same thing as the conditional zoning, and it locks it out for every other place in the county.
We have auto repair places that are operating legally right now. Too.
I mean, that's a different issue, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, can everybody then come
They're
before
not
us?
operating illegally, though.
didn't say they
They're
were.
trying to operate legally.
I know they are. They just want to make a change. And the other concern I have too is, have we given our full community an opportunity to voice their, maybe they have different ideas, different suggestions, maybe this, that. Have we given our full community opportunities to weigh in on what they would like to see if we're going to make this change?
Tonight.
I look at it this way, Mike, to your comment, whatever, like, they could have probably opened up and nobody would have never even known they were there, as small as it's going to
Oh,
be
we
on
have
the
that all over the
property.
county. We have that all over the
For a
county.
day- oh, yeah,
We
that's
have
what
that
I'm
all
saying.
over
They're
the
choosing
county.
the right way to make a difference.
We have legal businesses all over the county.
Yeah.
But the only flaw I see in your thinking, Tony, is let's suppose that the one that's not following the rules in Grandy closes their doors. My concern is what door that opens for especially the southern end of the county. And that's my concern with this text amendment. I have no doubt, once again, that the Bears are wanting to do it by the rules. My concern is that this text amendment applies to the entire county, and we can't look into a crystal ball. We can't see into the future to know what kind of businesses this could bring to the lower end of the county. That's my concern.
Well, you can't say businesses because it would only be one.
Well, okay.
Based on the distance that.
Well,
they put in the ordinance.
if the one in Grandy did not continue, you could have two additional ones in Lower Currituck.
Well, you would have to have them roughly in the same spot because they said they were 13 miles from the one at Grandy. And the one at Grandy is 12 miles or 11 and a half from the bridge. So
You have to make it more than 10 miles.
Yeah,
Well, that's why we made
we
it-
talked about making it 12.
it would
Make
be
it a
12.
Yeah.
Or just exclude from Coin Jock South, Coin Jock Bridge South.
Just allow one business. There you go.
So you're excluding Corolla, exclude from Coin Jock Bridge
Corolla's
South.
already got places
I
where you
was
could get
already-
Pearson.
Already excluded.
I'm fine to strike Corolla from
Yeah.
the record or from
Yeah.
the amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move to approve PB 26-06, the Bear text amendment, as amended by the Planning Board with these additional edits. Item C, additional standards. Strike number 1. Additional standards number 3, strike in the GB district. Change 10 miles to 12 miles. Item 4 should read, in the GB district, hours of operation shall be limited to 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. That's my motion.
All right, I have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No disrespect, but it applies to the whole county, and I just, I'm not going to be able to vote for it. But any other?
Mr. Chairman, if
discuss-
I may, just really quick, Commissioner Rose, did you have a consistency statement in your motion that it's consistent? You
Okay.
will have to have
Okay.
that.
Just read what they've written at the top up there.
Yeah. If it's,
There we go. I forgot one part. Because the request is in conformance with the general purpose and intent of the Unified Development Ordinance and is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, including land use goals 2 and 3, land use policies 1.3, 2.1, 2.2, and the Economic Development Goal 1.
A second, Don.
What about the additional,
That the planning board added.
that's already a part of your motion?
That is a part of the motion
Okay,
with the items I edited.
We have a motion
Chairman,
and a
Mr.
second.
I was sitting here writing them down, what she said, before we vote, I know she said, can you say the additional, can she repeat the additional standards? Because I
Sure.
don't have everything.
All right. Item C, additional standards, strike number 1. Item 3, strike in the GB district and change 10 miles to 12 miles.
Okay.
Item 4, strike through the special use permit process, the Board of Commissioners may limit Sunday hours of operation and include 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Limiting 10 to 6.
So if we take the GB district out, then that takes away any overlap on the LI and
Okay.
HI
Correct.
locations.
All right, strike in the GB district, this is item 4. Strike in the GB district and just say hours of operation shall be limited to 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations. You guys want another 5-minute break?
That was a 5-minute break.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting back to order. Item 3, PB 26-05, Currituck County. The Technical Review Committee is requesting an amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 4, Use Standards, Section 4.2.3, to exempt county-owned minor utilities from the dimensional development and use-specific standards of the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you've stated, this is a TRC request coming from the Utilities Department, really in response to some potential projects with pump stations or pump stations for the water system along the highway. Some areas we have easements, some areas we actually have the lots, but sometimes trying to apply all the dimensional standards of the ordinance and the development standards make it prohibitive to meet those. And so this ordinance will exempt minor utility facilities from those standards, but we'll still review those standards and try to meet them to the not to the maximum extent practicable, but to the extent practicable, as determined by the county. There are some infrastructure and county services goals that apply to the request. They're found in your agenda packet. There are several related to providing adequate facilities. And the staff and the planning board both recommend approval because it's consistent with the ordinance, as well as the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, infrastructure and county services goals 1, 3, 8, and 9, as well as policies 8.1 and 9.1. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? I have a question. I don't know if it's a question or a comment. I don't guess it has anything to do with this, so never mind. It's about the utilities. I'm told that, okay, we require utility easements on lot lines when people put to plat a development, but then I'm told that our water department doesn't want to use those easements as we require other utilities to use them, but our water department requires people to go loop around and do all kinds of other things because they don't want to have to be bothered if there's a problem in those easements. So I don't think that has anything to do with this, but it is something that I've been wanting to bring up, and so now it's up.
Right.
And please continue. We have no one signed up for the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask the board for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve PB 2605 Currituck County text amendment because the request is in conformance with the general purpose and intent of the Unified Development Ordinance and is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, including ICS Goals 1, 3, 8, and 9, as well as ICS Policies 8.1 and 9.1, and is not in any conflict with any other provisions of the County Code of Ordinances.
I have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. New business, item 1 is public hearing and possible action on the annual budget for fiscal year 2026-27. The county manager did a presentation at our last Board of Commissioners meetings. There has not been any official change since that time. I am going to open the public hearing unless anyone has a question of the manager. Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. There's no one signed up to speak, and I'll close the public hearing. And we will not take action on that tonight. We will just continue. Next item is sole source resolution Aqua Azul ultraviolet disinfectant system utility. Somebody say that fast 3 times.
I'm not going to.
Azul.
Azul.
Yeah, I think it's Spanish for
Okay.
blue.
Oh.
Okay, so North Carolina General Statute 143-129E6 authorizes a unit of local government to purchase apparatus, supplies, materials, or equipment when standardization or compatibility is an overriding consideration. The resolution before you tonight is for UV disinfection systems, channels, cables, sensors, lamps, and related products that are compatible with our current wastewater and operational systems provided by Aqua Azul Products and Aqua Azul Corporation. And staff would recommend approval.
Real quick, so this says it's compatible with Corolla and the mainland. Is this a replacement for one that we had on the shelf as a backup, or is this going in one of those? Because there's only one being purchased.
Yeah, so I think here the county requires the purchase of these products on an ongoing basis for wastewater. What was your question exactly?
Is it going to Corolla or the mainland? Or is it just one that we're keeping as a backup?
I think it's a backup.
I am not sure.
I think it's a backup. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it doesn't really say.
It says replacement. It does mention, well, I don't know, it says.
It could just be like if we keep one on hand and one went out.
Yeah, so this is for the next, let's see, any purchases made through, okay, never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what it is for exactly. If it's a replacement or to keep one on hand, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So no, that's not very helpful.
Do you need to know that before we vote on it?
No.
We need
But I do think, in my opinion, it does qualify as a sole source.
Yeah. I mean, like me needing to know it and voting for sole source is different, I guess.
How about if the manager gets you the answer
Could you
tomorrow?
give me that answer? Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
If I may,
Yes, you may.
You may.
I did get this from our purchasing agent. When she sent the email to me to include this on the agenda, she wrote, there is not an amount because this will be used for ongoing parts replacement throughout the year, as well as this replacement system.
You know what? It's a shame that county clerk's recognition appreciation awesomeness month
Was 2 weeks ago.
Was 2 weeks
Was
ago,
two-
because I'd give it to you again right
Yes. We recognize you again.
Well,
Thank you, Leanne.
you just clarified
now. Thank
it
you,
all.
ma'am.
All right.
You go.
Any
Leanne.
any further discussion?
Motion for
Move
approval.
for second, third.
I have a motion, and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item 3 is a ground lease agreement for the airport hangar with Sun Energy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for a ground lease with Sun Energy and the county for a 100 by 100-foot hangar here at the airport. The term is for 10 years with 5 automatic renewal clauses of 5 years each. There is an annual rent of $5,200 for a 100 by 100 building and a 100 by 100 apron.
And I believe that will be housing a jet airplane that will be purchasing fuel from Currituck.
Yes, that is correct.
And it's 6 5-year terms.
Oh, thank you. 6.
Yeah.
I thought I had
That also includes, he's rehoming that jet to Currituck.
Yes.
Tax
So
purposes.
tax
That's right.
purposes come to Currituck.
That's right.
And it's a
Yes.
several $million jet.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. So this
Any
is
further
good.
questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Item 4 is board appointments. Corova Roads Maintenance Service District, William Nosey, Roxanne Miller, and TJ English.
Move for approval.
We have a motion for approval.
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Opioid Advisory, we have appointments of Brenda Thacker replacing Dr. Corey and Dr. Dan Berge replacing Kay Bynum.
Move for approval. They will be very good on that board. They have been attending, so move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Consent agenda.
Move for approval.
I have a motion for approval.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item, Commissioners' Report. We'll start with Ms. Rose tonight.
I attended the Coastal Coalition meeting last week in Moorhead, and the next thing for us to really worry about, I guess, is this study came out about crabs and where we are with the population. And our area is in good shape, the Albemarle area, but down south is not in good shape. So I'm told that the Marine Fisheries Commission will have it on the August agenda. We're just in hopes that they will have something for that area and something less for our area as far as detrimental and how it will be, but doesn't sound good. I attended the Constitution film showing put on by the Tourism Department yesterday. It was very good. We had a good crowd. But one thing that I did hear, and I'm hearing this over and over, is we have to do a better job of getting information out some other way besides Facebook. So I don't know what we can do if we could, at the very least, fix a flyer and send it to all of the county-owned buildings. Maybe they could place it, senior center, wherever, for our town hall meetings as well. And we've got 4th of July celebration coming up. And to be honest, I've not even heard the details of the 4th of July celebration other than the location.
Janet, if you complain on, Commissioner Rose, if you complain on Facebook, it'll generate a little bit more wave. So maybe you can make a complaint about it, then people read the comments.
So if we have details on the 4th of July celebration, like the time, when the gates open, what have you, if you could start sharing that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Payment,
Nothing tonight.
Ms. Jarvis.
Just real quickly, congratulations to the graduates of Currituck County High School and JP Knapp. I wasn't able to attend, a lot of company coming in, but I'm proud of the seniors that took the time to do well and walk across the stage. And I just really appreciate that. I also want to thank the staff for the work on the budget. In going through it, it was very detailed and very thoughtful about how we spend tax dollars, and I appreciate the conservative approach that the staff has, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Braithwaite.
Nothing new tonight.
Mr. McCord.
Attended graduation, got to donate a few extra hours because it was a long day. It was a long graduation, but it was very nice. Lots of the schools, I'm glad school's out, so be prepared. There'll be more kids around all over in the neighborhoods, and all that good stuff. Should be outside playing, not playing video games. One thing I did, I worked, I had to cover the middle school for one of our SROs, and they gave the awards out to Mayock Middle, and I was amazed at how many kids received AB honor roll, and then how many kids, it was the 6th grade, I believe, that the award ceremony was for. Just say roughly 180, 190 kids, probably like 70, I mean, almost half either made honor roll or all A's. That was pretty impressive, I thought.
Did you walk when you were up there like that?
No, I didn't receive an award that day neither. So, but it's all good. But yeah, like I said, the county's busy. July 4th's coming up. It's getting hotter. Stay hydrated. And I got 10 more of these things, and that's it.
All right, Mr. Angel.
I too would like to congratulate all the graduates from the high school. I attended the graduation. Fantastic ceremony. I do believe we need to find money in the budget for Dr. Lute's new calculator, though. So there is that. Also, Kerala Town Hall meeting last week. Fantastic turnout. Great conversation, great engagement. Most of us were there. All that can make it were there. Appreciate my fellow commissioners making the trip across the water.
Send you a bill.
And, that's all.
All right, I have a couple things. First, I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Mr. Jimmy Farabee, longtime Currituck resident farmer, served as a school board member and a lot of public service and different things throughout the county. Keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. I also attended the graduation, and I have to say that it was a good graduation. It was rather long. We were told probably about an hour and 15 minutes, and it went on for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. But anyways, it was a good graduation. A lot of kids are graduating because they've cut the number of hours required to graduate now. So now we have kids that are 16 years old, 17 years old, graduating from high school. I'm not sure that's a good thing. When I was 16 years old, if I didn't have something regimented for me, I did plenty bad with something regimented for me, but
What the term is devil's or idle hands?
yes.
Idle minds that
But it
doesn't
was
work.
242 kids, I think. When I graduated in 81, it was 162. So it's about 80 more, which is less than I really thought the difference would be. But one thing I want to say is at the beginning of the graduation, the ROT students came and presented arms, and we had a young lady in the chorus sing the national anthem. It was as pretty a song singing of the national anthem I've ever heard. And then those young people led us into Pledge of Allegiance, and I think it would be wholly and totally proper for the 250th anniversary of this nation to have those young people come do that before the fireworks display on July 4th. I've already spoken with the ROC colonel.
ROTC.
Huh?
You left the T out.
ROTC.
ROTC.
What did I say?
ROC.
Block.
Okay. RO,
Keep you straight, sir.
thank you. No Christmas card
No,
for you.
take me off the list.
The ROTC colonel, and he said they would be glad to do it if the manager or someone from the county would connect with them. They will try to arrange that. I think that would be spectacular before the fireworks to show the patriotism of these young folks for the masses. And last thing, there is a bill been introduced in the Senate that our attorney, Ms. Morgan, and I have been discussing, that if it passes, once again, they're coming after local communities' ability to regulate how you grow. Do you have some of those excerpts with you, Ms. Morgan?
I do. I'm looking at this summary that Ms. Turner
And
drafted.
while she's looking at that, if you folks out here watching this do not call the representatives in Raleigh, and I'm not talking about calling Senator Hannig, he's not going to vote for it. But if the folks in this county do not call the majority leader's office and let them know this is unacceptable, some bad things are going to happen in Currituck County that we won't be able to control. So if Ms. Morgan would share that, I asked her to prepare for this.
Sure. So the major impact that Currituck County will receive from this is the following. A local government zoning regulation shall allow the sitting of buildings and structures subject to the North Carolina Residential Code, for example, duplex, triplex, quadplex, and multifamily housing structures with more than 4 residential dwelling units in all areas zoned for non-agricultural, commercial, business, or industrial use. The zoning regulation shall have a maximum height restriction of not less than 60 feet. So what that means, this is a major change for Currituck County because currently we do not permit single-family dwellings in LI or HI. We do not permit duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, or multifamily housing, which is more than 4 units in any commercial or industrial districts. And the proposed change in allowable height to a max of 60 foot is a major change for Currituck County. The max height currently is 35 feet in mixed residential, general business, limited business, and light industrial districts. The max height is 65 feet in heavy industrial. So major impact to Currituck.
It will be a growth boom in Currituck County, and we'll be sitting here, nothing we can do about it. So I encourage people at home to get on the telephone and email the Senate Majority Leader's office and let them know that they should not be meddling in the local zoning rules.
Tell them where to find that contact information.
You can go to the North Carolina General Assembly website, and it'll have the contact information for the Speaker of the House, which this is a Senate bill. If it passes, it'll go to the House, so you need to contact the Speaker's office and the Senate Majority Leader's office.
President Pro Tem.
Yes. So, and then lastly, Northeastern Workforce Development Board, we need a business owner from Currituck County who would like to serve on that. If you will get in touch with the manager's staff or the manager's office, we can put your name forward.
For what?
The Workforce Development Board. Did I flub that one up?
No,
too?
they're pointing at Mike.
Everybody's pointing at me.
Tony was too.
Oh, well, this is a business owner, Mike. So it would be great for
Kevin's a business owner.
Mike. So
I'm zoned in the wrong location. So.
okay. So that is
The
the
text amendment.
Commissioner's report, County Manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a reminder that we will have the community meeting in Moyock on Thursday at 6 p.m. at Moyock Middle School in the cafeteria.
And that is what?
Thursday evening at 6 p.m.
6 o'clock.
It's in the cafeteria.
Yeah, the cafeteria is massive.
Okay, is that it? And county attorney's report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've already discussed this a lot, but I just wanted to reiterate the fact that the county has prevailed in the 7-year litigation that the county had with the CCA and other property owners in Corolla, and that the county has properly used occupancy tax funds to fund public health and safety. And there's no opportunity for appeal.
And was that a unanimous decision?
It was a unanimous decision.
That was seven.
Seven-
Mixture of
7-0.
Republicans and Democrats
That's
all
right.
agreeing that we were, so
That we
the
did the
haters
right
on
thing.
Facebook that said bad things, we were correct on what we did because it was 7-0. So I just would like to state that.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to make a motion to recess our regular meeting and reconvene as a special meeting of the Tourism Development Authority for the public hearing and possible action on the Tourism Development Authority annual budget for 26-27.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Madam Manager, this was presented at our last meeting. We have no one signed up to speak. However, if the board wishes to approve this budget tonight, they cannot.
No, because we can't do it.
Because that's what I was just saying. If they wish to approve it, they cannot tonight. So we will continue on to the next item.
That was smooth.
So
Didn't even hesitate.
I am now making a motion to adjourn the special meeting of the Tourism Development Authority and reconvene a special meeting of the Ocean Sands Water and Sewer District Board, public hearing and possible action on the Ocean Sands Water and Sewer District annual budget for fiscal year 26-27.
Second.
And all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have no one signed up for this one either. I guess we can carry this one. Do you wish to comment on this one?
We have to.
Yeah. So we'll do this one. And now I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn the special meeting of the Ocean Sands Water Sewer District Board and reconvene a regular meeting.
Didn't defer any action on that, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct. Reconvene a regular meeting to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A5 to establish or instruct county staff concerning the position to be taken by or on behalf of the county in negotiating the material terms of a contract for the acquisition of real property by purchase or exchange to be used for any public purpose. The property is owned by Corova Sands LLC and West Beach Properties LLC and consists of 5 parcels totaling plus or minus 43.42 acres on Ocean Pearl Road, Corolla. PIN numbers, they're in the record. So that is my motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.